Hey everybody, it's Danny. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute, but I'm back. Hopefully be full force from here going forward with new videos more frequently. So this week I wanted to showcase this pretty awesome instrument right here. It is a Warwick. I learned recently that we've all been pronouncing Warwick wrong, that it's silent W, Warwick. Do with it as you will. Anyway, I got this a couple months ago as part of a trade for a different 5-string and some other gear. I love Warwick basses, and I've had some in the past. I had a Corvette fretless about 10 years ago for a little while. I've been missing that, and I really love the construction and the way they look and the punchy sound. This particular one is very different from my normal stuff. I'm usually like a plain top if I'm going to see the wood, just the wood grain, or colored like a sunburst or solid or something like that. This is a little sort of more hoity-toity for me, but I really love the way the bass sounds and the way it feels, so I wanted to show it to you guys. So this is a 2006 Thumb 5, aka the Dirty Blonde. They made, I don't know, 120 or so of these. This one says 6 of 119. I was doing some research online before this. It seems like a lot of them say number 6. So I don't know if there was different runs or how that worked out. But if you can see the back of the headstock, there is a sticker. Let's see if I can get it closer up. That shows what I'm talking about. There also is signed by Mr. Warwick on the back. Anyway, so just tell you about this bass. It is a ash body on the back. There's like this little veneer. You see that little black line of something, I forget what it is. It goes around the whole entire body. Kind of like a binding, but not exactly. And then a spalted poplar top. Maple neck also has these lines from the same material. Not sure what it is, I don't remember. It's got this nice volute. Standard Warwick headstock with the matching top. Ebony fretboard, 24 frets, and it has these really nice pearl dove inlays. Pretty interesting. Brass frets. It's got the Just a Nut, Warwick Just a Nut. I don't know if you guys know about this, but it's got these 2 little Allen screws, so you can adjust the height of the string to where you need it, versus slotting out the nuts, stuff like that. Underneath this little cover is the truss rod adjustment. It's really nice. It's a PJ setup, but it's a double J, so you get the humbucker and then the split, or you can have single coil. The controls are maybe simpler than they look, but you have in the front, the top is the volume, the bottom is a pan, so in the middle it's got the middle detente. The middle is both pickups. You go forward, it's the P, back it's the J's. If you pull up, it's going to be active or passive. It's active bass, obviously. Pull up and you eliminate that circuit, so then it's passive. The middle knob is the mids, so in the center, and then it's cut or boost. On the back knob, it is bass on the bottom, same thing. You can cut or boost. It's got the detente, and then the treble, same thing, cut or boost. If you pull the treble side up, you then have just one of the coils on the J pickup. So I'll show all that. I'll play a little bit for you. It's got strap locks. Here's the input jack. When I got it, it just needed a little bit of a cleaning up, so I swapped out the screws in the knob so it was a little more snug. They were kind of just turning. New screws for the pickups. The other ones were kind of rusty and funky, and I put a new nut. I got another Warwick nut. The other one had broken. These are made out of like graphite, not like Graphtec, but something similar. It had split and it's falling apart. You know, these bases, I've seen them go for $2 to $4 grand. I think there's one on Reverb right now for 10, which I think is a little crazy. But they're a nice, you know, expensive bass. I will say, oh, also, I put some Hipshot ultralight tuners on. The original ones were kind of cruddy and not working so great. And also what I wanted to do was distribute some weight a little better. This thing has a little bit of a pretty crazy neck dive, as you can kind of see. It's not crazy balanced. It's fine if you're playing it and you kind of got your arm leaning on it, is how I kind of play if I'm sitting down. But this body weighs like nothing. So that's the challenge. It's got a meaty Warwick neck. You know, the maple and the ebony are heavy. This body is very lightweight. It's also very small. I don't know if you can kind of tell, but it's a very small body. The thumb bodies are generally pretty tiny. And it's not like some of the other ones that have that Babinga body, which is a little more dense. This thing is like, you know, super light. Anyway, I've been playing it a lot. Had rehearsal with my band. I've been doing some demoing of stuff I'm doing at home with it, and I'm really digging it. Right now it's strung with some Diodario NYXLs. Just a word of advice, if you have a Warwick or you thinking about picking one up and you're going to get a 5, make sure you get a tapered B. It has, you know, these little slots that it fits into, and I found that when I was stringing it with standard B strings, it wouldn't stay in there. If I, you know, get a screwdriver and hold it down while I was stringing it up, it might stay in there, but it was really a struggle. I tried a couple different sets, and I really realized recently, actually, through this bass, I've been doing stainless steels like DR, lowrider, stuff like that. I really prefer nickel, but I also like the hex core. So these are nickel hex core strings. I like a little bit stiffer. I like to fight with my bass a little bit. I don't really like this sort of loosey-goose slinky where it's, you know, I'm not doing a lot of bending and crazy stuff, nor am I doing crazy tapping or slapping where I need all that. But I like, you know, a little bit of a fight, also an upright player. And so I kind of like that tension that you would get. A similar feeling. Anyway, that's what this bass kind of is about. I'll plug in, go through the controls, and then we'll go from there. Okay, everybody, so here's the bass plugged in. Right now I have all the controls set at noon. So treble, bass, mids. I have the pickup pan in the middle, so it's both pickups in active mode and the volume all the way up. Nice sounding bass. All right, so I'll go kind of, I guess, front to back. So here is with the treble all the way down. Back to the middle. About 3/4 of the way up. And all the way up. Gets pretty bright. Again, so here's the bass all the way down. Still has a lot of meat and a lot of low end. Here's halfway again. That's 3/4 of the way. And then all the way boosted. Whoa, it's like a sub. So here's the mids all the way in the middle. Oh, hiccups. Okay, so mids all the way down. Okay, back in the middle. And all the way boosted. Okay, so let's do, everything's back in the middle as far as the EQ goes. This is just the J's in active mode. If you put it in passive, so back in active mode, back in the middle, both pickups. Okay. And then full on P. And that's also in active mode. Here's passive mode. Okay. Right, much passive, active. Okay. So back in the middle with both, here is active. Get that kind of scooped double pickup sound, but still very punchy. And then on passive, I like that it affects sort of the beef of it, but not the tone. It doesn't completely alter the tone. Some basses, when you swap back and forth from passive to active, excuse me, it changes the tone sometimes. Weird. This is literally just louder or softer, is what it feels like to me. Back to active. The way that I've been kind of running it at rehearsal is active mode, both pickups, treble in the centered. I might boost the bass a hair. So if like in the middle is 12 o'clock, move it over to like 1 o'clock. Mids either flat, boost it a little bit, or depending on the room, play kind of an aggressive prog rock sound. And so I like some punch. And then sometimes I'm still experimenting with getting like what my actual solid sound for this bass. So usually both pickups, but sometimes I'll roll it forward, experimenting with that. You're getting more of the P, but just again at like 1 o'clock on the dial. If I pull the mids back into center, but with the P still featured a little bit more. So I kind of like it with the mids up a decent amount, helps cut through. And has a really nice B. This is a 130 set. That 130 really helps give the tension pretty similar. I tried a 125 and I just felt too floppy for me. I like a nice and tight, strong B. I think everybody does. But that can be a challenge. So really, that's what this bass sounds like without getting into too much more detail. I just wanted to do something quick and say hello again. You'll notice this weird black thing. There is, that neck dive when I have it on a strap, because the horn is so small. The body's tiny, doesn't weigh anything, and this horn is pretty small. So I had a friend of mine 3D print this thing just to extend the horn a little bit, give a little bit of a balance. It does help with the strap standing up. I also have a bunch of car weights in the cavity to help with, like wheel weights in there to help, because without them, this thing weighs nothing. So I'm still figuring that out as well, but I really enjoy playing this bass. These days my rig is this bass into a Tech 21 Steve Harris signature preamp pedal. I go back and forth between those two channels as my main sound. I have like the blue channel a little bit dirty, the red channel much more dirty, and then I go into the 3-leaf Doom pedal, which I've talked about before. I love that fuzz, my favorite fuzz. And then a host of other stuff, octaves, chorus, flanger, delay, fuzz wah, but that's kind of the core sound is right now, this bass into the Steve Harris. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for joining me, and hopefully we'll see you in the next week or two. Thanks.